It had been months since I last saw him. Life had gone on, as it always does, even when we're not ready for it to. I was in the middle of shooting my new script, the first one after everything, and for the first time, it wasn't about pain, but about starting over. Still, something inside me remained quiet, like a melody left unfinished. The filming took place in a small downtown studio. It was a simple story, about two people who lose and find each other at the right time. Maybe my unconscious way of making sense of what we had lived. I spent hours there, adjusting scenes, rewriting lines, trying to give meaning to gestures that reminded me of him. Then, on a rainy afternoon, because of course it is always raining when something important happens, the producer came in and said the new composer for the project had arrived. I didn't pay much attention. I just asked him to call me once I'd finished the scene, but when I heard the sound, the first notes played, soft, sad, familiar. Each chord carried an echo of something I thought I had buried. I looked up, and there he was, Mark, standing by the door, with that same calm presence, the same gaze that once made me believe everything was possible. He looked different, more grounded, maybe a little tired, but still had that quiet aura that filled the room without trying. For a moment, time folded in on itself. I didn't know whether to smile, cry, or run. He simply placed his headphones on the table and said he'd started composing something months ago but could never finish it. He said now he understood why. The room went silent. The sound of rain against the window seemed to sync with our breathing. I sat down, pretending to be calm, though my hands trembled. He pressed play. The melody was simple but alive. It began with sadness, like what we once were, and slowly shifted into something lighter, almost hopeful. As I listened, I felt a knot inside me come undone. He didn't need to say anything. The music spoke for both of us. We worked together for weeks. At first it was strange, like walking on fragile new ground. We didn't talk much, but each pause was heavy with meaning. Sometimes he looked at me with that same quiet light in his eyes, and I pretended not to notice. Other times it was me who let my gaze linger longer than it should. Little by little, the studio became a place of laughter again. I realized how much we had both changed. Less urgency, more understanding. It was no longer about needing each other, but about choosing to be there, again, in the same rhythm. When the film was finished, we decided to watch it together, alone, in the projection room. The lights went down, and his music began to play. Each scene seemed to speak to the melody, and the melody spoke back to the story. It felt like, finally, everything was where it belonged. At the very end, before the credits rolled, there was a small line of text on the screen. Some beginnings never really end. He looked at me and smiled. I whispered that I hadn't written that line. The editor had. But deep down, I knew that maybe fate had found a way to write it for us. When we stepped outside, a soft rain was falling. He opened the same yellow umbrella, and I laughed. The same laugh that had been stuck in my chest for months. We walked side by side, without promises, without fear. We weren't the same anymore, and that was beautiful. Some loves don't come back to pick up where they left off. They return to start again, differently, quieter, truer. That night, as we listened to the sound of rain mixed with the melody he'd composed, I realized the music was finally complete. It wasn't about us together or apart. It was about who we'd become after the silence. And for the first time, the sound returned.